to solve these problems. And at the level of the African Youth Resource Center, we feel it is very important that we encourage young people, we support them on how to come around this very, very trying time for them, because these are times that we are not used to. For a very long time, when they have been locked down, most of our young people, their small businesses have been affected. Young people that are starting small business, barbing, small trade, transportation, all of these. Young people have really suffered in recent times. So at the level of the African Youth Resource Center, we feel it's very important for us to complement the effort of government to ensure that we find a way to ameliorate this and find a way to go around it to educate our young people. That is how we came about the town hall with the team, the social and economic impact of COVID-19 on the Nigerian youth. And we're very happy with the huge participation. We also want to use this opportunity to appreciate our numerous panelists, our high-level panelists that we have invited. I want to use this opportunity to thank the DG of NITDA, who has been standby since. Also from the Ministry of Youth Development, we appreciate you. The Office of the Minister of State, FCT, we thank you, and a lot of others. We also want to use this opportunity to thank one of our mentor, Mr. T.S. Jackrich, who is also one of us. We hope that as the meeting goes on, they'll all come in to give their words to give support and encouragement to young people. We thank the Minister of Youth, who has been doing a lot in youth development. I'm even aware that today there are similar events like this is also attending to. The Minister is doing a lot. We really commend him. Above all, I want to commend the Nigerian youth for not losing hope, for the courage, and for supporting government, and also for observing social distance. I want to encourage us to continue in this laudable direction. There's still a lot I'm going to share, and as the meeting continues, so I'm going to stop for now. And my assignment is just to welcome you all. So I want to say thank you very much for coming in. You are very much welcome. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Dutoye, for your kind welcome remarks and for your introduction to the event today. We're going to go quickly to the Director General of NITDA. He is going to be addressing us. Thank you, DG, for being here with us since morning and for being on time. And we're very delighted that Dr. Kashifu Inoa is here with us. Let me connect Dr. Inoa onto the spotlight video and also unmute him. We're very grateful, Dr. Inoa, for joining us this morning on this illustrious event. We know how busy your schedule is, dear DG, and but it's because of your love and your passion for Nigerian youth that you've been able to create the time. We're very grateful, and we can wish you nothing but goodness and grace. Before I hand over the microphone to you, I wanted to say Ramadan Kareem, or Eid Mubarak as it is now. I hope you had a great Ramadan period.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. Actually, I received about 5 invitations for webinar today, and all within this time frame, 10 a.m. to 12. But I've decided to participate in this one because I'm a youth like you also.
Thank you so much, DG.
Thank you for the opportunity. And briefly, let me start about our agency. The National Information Technology Development Agency is the Nigerian prime ICT agency established to implement national ICT policy. With the recent government initiatives to make Nigeria a leading digital economy, the agency has refocused its effort to implementation of the National Digital Economy Strategy. This resonates with what is happening globally. Digital economy was emerging before COVID-19, and now the crisis has made it more profound. According to Forbes magazine, the world's 25 richest billionaires have gained nearly $255 billion in just 2 months. Almost all of them leverage on the power of digital platform to get the whopping amounts. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg is the biggest gainer and is a youth like you, and most of them also are youths like you. He made almost $32.5 billion in 2 months under lockdown, and he has moved from the 7th richest person in the world in early April this year to the 4th richest person in the world today. NITDA has embarked on several initiatives to accelerate digital transformation in Nigeria. The initiatives include the following, among others: development and implementation of the Nigeria e-government interoperability framework, Nigeria government enterprise architecture, Nigeria cloud computing policy, Nigeria data protection regulation, and Nigeria Smart Initiatives Policy Framework. The journey started in 2017 with the introduction of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan to restore economic growth while leveraging on the talent and knowledge of the Nigerian people, especially you, the youth. The policy identifies ICT as a key enabler and encourages investment in digital economy. On 23rd October 2019, the President Muhammadu Buhari GCFR went further and redesignated our ministry from the Ministry of Communications to the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. This action has put Nigeria on the global map of digitally competitive nation. In every crisis, there is a hidden opportunity, a silver lining. And the most promising silver lining in this COVID-19 crisis is accelerating trends shaping the future of digital economy. Looking at this, and our population, the Nigerian population, we have over 200 million people, whereby 60% of the population are under 30, means are youth, and they are digitally native. At NITDA, we have rolled out several initiatives in order to help you identify and grab the hidden opportunities within COVID-19 crisis. We have launched the following initiatives, among others, during the crisis. Tech for COVID initiatives, which was to cushion the impact of COVID-19 on the tech and innovation ecosystem and provide a sustainable solution, especially for startups mainly operated by youths like you. The committee we set up has come up with a plan to ensure we retain about 100,000 jobs in ICT sector, strengthen the ecosystem, and create additional 150,000 jobs during and after the pandemic. We also launched a virtual startup clinic. We executed 2 startup clinics virtually, where we provided a platform for you, mostly the young people, to meet with mentors, successful entrepreneurs, investors, captains of industry, business consultants, and ICT hub operators, with the goal of incubating your ideas and accelerating your products to market, as well as learning how to pitch your ideas to potential investors. We also commissioned our virtual learning platform. The initiative was conceptualized and executed during the lockdown to meaningfully engage the youth, to mindfully utilize your time while staying at home. The platform has helped a lot of people develop mental resilience and learned new skills under lockdown. So far, we have over 13,400 active students learning from 47 different courses. We also launched NITDA COVID-19 Innovation Challenge, which was held virtually. It has identified some innovative ideas to contain the virus and help cushion the economic impact. 5 startups with highly innovative ideas were selected for the final challenge. After exciting pitch and contest, 3 of them emerged best and won prizes. In addition, we are working with the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 to incubate some of the ideas and put them to use in our society. We are also working on technology innovation and entrepreneurship support scheme, which is going to target mostly youth who has startups, and also the operators of ICT hubs across the country. The idea is to retain existing jobs and create new jobs during and after the pandemic. We are also working on an initiative, Nigeria Adopted Village for Smart Agriculture, which is a smart agri project where we engage young farmers, mostly youth. And the initiative focuses on using digital platform and precision smart farming technology to ensure significant improvement in crop yield, quality of farm produce, efficiency and productivity, increased profit margin, harvest forecast, sales of farm produce, and eco-friendly agriculture practice. So far, we have engaged 150 young farmers, and we are working with them for the pilot project. In addition, we are also working on a business process outsourcing framework, which is going to be launched, or we are going to workshop and socialize the initial draft with experts later this afternoon. The idea is we are targeting to provide hundreds of thousands decent jobs for our youth. We have identified our competitive advantage, our competitive edge as a country, and we are confident that Nigeria will create and capture a tremendous value in the business process outsourcing market globally. Most importantly, we are working assiduously with relevant stakeholders towards ensuring the tech ecosystem is insulated from negative impact from the COVID-19, which is mostly driven by the youth, the Nigerian youth. In addition, we have been doing a lot of training for the youth. We targeted artisans and young professionals on how to use digital skills to create jobs for themselves instead of waiting for government to provide jobs for them. Because the future of the work is going to change. We are using this opportunity to empower our youths with the requisite digital skills for them to easily identify and embrace digital technology. We are building Center for Excellency for Emerging Technologies to create awareness and showcase the technology trends that can shape the future or the post-COVID era. So through these centers, youths can learn and simulate the use of emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, advanced robotics, big data analytics, cloud computing, cybersecurity, etc. So with this, we have been working on a strategy, but no matter how much you plan your life, unexpected change will happen. And when change like COVID-19 hits, it can be a bit daunting. We are in a very turbulent time with a lot of uncertainty. Therefore, we need a strong decision-making process. I personally adopt OODA law decision-making process. And by and large, we use it in NITDA since the crisis hit. It is a wartime decision process, but widely used in business. Therefore, I urge you to also explore using this decision process mechanism. During and after the Korean War, there was a fighter pilot named John Boyd who won every single air-to-air combat he fought. He can start from a disadvantaged position, and within 40 seconds, he can maneuver and defeat his opponent. Pentagon leadership was curious about his record, and he was called to explain his tactics. He explained that he has articulated a decision-making process called OODA law. OODA means observe, orient, decide, and act. Observe what has changed in the environment. A lot of things have changed now. So we need to observe, then orient ourselves to the current state. Then decide, how shall we realign ourselves to the new environment, and act, take a deliberate action based on previous experience and standards. That means you can use this decision-making process to unlock the hidden opportunities within this crisis and create a better life for yourself and your family and the country in general. Because the crisis, the way it is, a lot of industries are going to suffer, or a lot of business are going to be closed permanently after this pandemic. And many will start a new business. So we all need to behave like a startup for us to identify and grab value within this crisis. And also the process has been very effective and helped us to navigate through the crisis. And we complement it with 3 strategic capabilities at NITDA. We have the creativity, adaptability, and collaboration. When we talk about creativity at NITDA, we are creative in executing our mandate. We didn't waste time. The first week our cities went under lockdown, we started using digital platform to engage stakeholders and citizens on how to create a sense of stability within the crisis. We integrated Tech for COVID committee in the first week of the lockdown The committee worked remotely and submitted its initial report within 48 hours, and we started implementation within 24 hours. By the second week, we were able to launch our virtual learning environment, which was conceptualized and executed under the lockdown. This helped us to easily get stability within the crisis. We didn't waste time. We didn't panic within the crisis. So we were able to keep our business up and running. And adaptability. The pandemic has proven to us that human being is the most adaptable animal. Coronavirus and self-isolation have caused extreme changes in our life and forced us to change our behaviors and adapt new habits. New trends have emerged, such as remote everything. We basically do everything from home, working, learning, working out, project commissioning. Like today, we are having Zoom town hall meeting, Zoom party, and Zoom wedding. We are very good in this at NITDA. We were the first agency to commission a project virtually. Collaboration. We all believe that we are in this crisis together. Therefore, we have been working in collaboration with other stakeholders to craft our exit and recovery strategy from this crisis. I talked about Tech for COVID Committee, Tech and Innovation Ecosystem, and Innovation Challenge before, as well as working with other government agencies to cushion the impact of this pandemic. Therefore, I urge you all to use this, to see this as an opportunity for you to create and capture new value for yourself. Thank you for listening, and stay safe and stay positive.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, DG. We're very grateful that you have been able to speak to us. I think I'm trying to control the projection. I can't see you. I'm trying to see you. Please bear with me, DG. I'm looking for you on the screen. I can see. I'm going to try to take a question, but I'm going to come back to you, DG. DG, I wanted to ask quickly, what would you consider the achievement of the Tech for COVID Committee that you mentioned about? What would you consider the biggest achievement of that committee?
The big achievement was
DG, we're trying to hear you.
Sustainable ecosystem in the post-COVID era.
Okay, I think I can see you now. Sorry, I'm trying to put you on the screen, but I was having a bit of a challenge earlier. I can see you now, so let me, yes, spotlight with you. Excellent, now I have you back. Sorry about that. So you were talking about your biggest achievement as during the COVID-19 period. What would you also consider? It's 1 year anniversary of His Excellency Mr. President's second term, General Muhammadu Buhari. What would you consider as some of the biggest highlights, in addition to the ones that you have mentioned, for the administration in the area of technology, bearing in mind also encouraging the emerging generation in innovation in the area of technology? I would also like to know, I'm sure that the people who are here are also listening, how is your agency investing in young Nigerians who have creative ideas in tech and would like to get some financing or some support?
When you ask me of the biggest achievement of Mr. President, I will say
in this area is diversification. Nigeria, we have come to
an age whereby ICT drives almost everything we do. If you look at it, we are, in this country, we are holding Federal Executive Council meetings virtually. That means ICT or digital technology powers almost everything we do. And the president has redesignated our ministry from Ministry of Communications to the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. He has launched the Nigerian Digital Economy Strategy, and also he went further and commissioned the National Broadband Plan and Digital Literacy Capacity Building Training for our youth. What it means, the president is driving digital economy, and digital economy is the most promising economy in this world now. Looking at what is happening now, oil is very volatile and it has crashed. The only industry making money today is digital industry. If you look at the top 25 billionaires, they have made 255 billions within 2 months, are the leaders of these tech giants. Other industry is crashing. We are in economic crisis. So therefore, this is a big achievement for putting Nigeria on the right tracks on this digital economy. Then the second question you asked were about what are we doing at NITDA to engage the Nigerian youth. Based on the Mr. President policy and the commissioning of digital capacity building he did on the 19th of March, he directed our ministry, the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, under the leadership of Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, to implement the strategy. So the minister has directed all agencies under the ministry to key in. At NITDA, we have key in. We have started virtually now. We've created the virtual learning environment to engage our youth on this. And also I talked about building Center of Excellence on Emerging Technologies. We have built innovation and incubation centers, as well as we are engaging the ecosystem, because the idea is we want to promote startup everywhere. What I mean by startup everywhere is the president has promised to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. The best way to achieve this is through startups. Startups means we cannot wait for government to give us jobs. And also most of the industry now, they are in crisis. So you and I need to start thinking of how to create jobs for ourselves and even employ others to work for us. So we are coming up with initiatives that can help startups. Like I talked about technology ecosystem, innovation ecosystem scheme, whereby we will recruit people, especially youths, with innovative ideas and take them to establish ICT hubs to train them and incubate their ideas. So the idea is we are helping both the startups and the hubs here. We will pay for the hubs to train these startups, and we provide stipend for the startups. After the training, the startups will work for the hubs for a certain period, whereby we will pay the salary of these startups for them to work for the hubs free of charge. And the hubs will help them incubate their ideas and accelerate the production or they're going to market. So at the end, they will graduate them, and they will help them to go to market with their product. So we are creating jobs for them. And part of the initiative, we have like office space voucher, where we can provide office space for startups who cannot afford to pay for office space. In addition, in the space, we'll provide the connectivity, the meeting rooms, and other facilities they need to do their business. So most of our initiatives is targeting youth and startups.
Thank you, Mr. DG. I was also going to ask, how are you leveraging the work that you're doing for students in public primary and secondary school? How are you promoting technology? Are you working with the Ministry of Education and UBEC in fostering technology education and enhancement of technological capacities of our children in our public schools or in our schools generally across the country?
Yes, we are working with the Ministry of Education and other interest groups like the Nigerian Computer Society, the CPN Computer Profession, the Nigerian Computer Profession Council, and other stakeholders to engage our students. We have a program we call like Catch Them Young. Maybe during the breaks, we organize some boot camps for them on how to code, and also like during the last Data Protection Day, we engaged some students. They participated in competitions and won prizes. So we are basically working with different MDAs in the Ministry of Education, like for tertiary institution, we have an MOU with TED Fund, and we are working on how we can accelerate like research and development, whereby we can bridge the gap between the industry and the institutions in general.
That's amazing, Director General. A lot of good work you're doing here. Before I ask you my final question so I can let you go, or allow even participants to send in questions, may I say that this event is being recorded to be broadcasted for 1 hour on AIT very soon. So we're hopefully that this message will be able to reach a wider audience of young Nigerians about the opportunities available in NITDA and the great work that NITDA is doing in transforming technology for Nigerians. Let me also quickly recognize the presence of Aderonke Bello, the media aide to the FCC Minister of State, and Honorable Semisola Ayoade, the Special Assistant or Special Advisor of the SA on Social Development to the FCT Minister of State. We'll also have officials from the Ministry of Youth who are also here, and they will be recognized in due course. Honorable Minister, sorry, my Director General, I think I'm prophesying that you're going to be a minister next. By God's grace. Are there learning tools, programs, or innovative opportunities preparing the emerging generation for digital workplace post-COVID-19? And what would be your advice to young people in leveraging technology post-COVID-19?
What we have learned from this COVID-19 is knowledge is power. And also, maybe I can say the silver lining in it is accelerating trends shaping digital economy. Everything is becoming digital. And when you talk about digital, digital is knowledge. For you to get a digital service, you need to have the knowledge to come up with the services. So at NITDA, we promote that. Like I talked about, under this lockdown, in the second week of lockdown, we conceptualized and executed an initiative called NITDA Academy Virtual Learning Environment. The idea was to help our people, engage them meaningfully, and let them spend their time mindfully while staying at home. Because sometimes if you just stay doing nothing at home, some people will start unnecessary thinking. So that was the reason of creating that platform that can help our youth learn a lot about emerging technologies and see the power of emerging technology. Look at how Zoom has just boomed from nowhere. Before COVID-19, very few people knew about Zoom, but now almost everybody knows about Zoom, and we are using it for a lot of things. So we also came up with the COVID-19 Innovation Challenge, which was to challenge our talented youth to come up with innovative ideas locally that can help us contain the virus, as well as cushion the economic impact, because it's a two-way crisis. It's a crisis like no other, economic and health crisis. The virus is causing the health crisis, while the lockdown needed to contain the virus is causing the economic crisis. Therefore, we need to look at it from two ways. How can we contain the virus using technology, and how to cushion the financial or the economic impact of the virus itself? That's why we came up with that initiative, the COVID-19 and Innovation Challenge. And the idea is we are working with the winners. We are going to incubate their ideas. You know, idea is something you think about, which you need some mentoring, you need some help to put it into a prototype product, test it before you even do a mass production. So we are helping these startups to incubate them and develop a prototype product. We are working with Ministry of Health and Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 so that they can help us to identify which of these projects can easily plug into our system. After that, we will develop a prototype sample, we will test it. If it works well, we'll fund it to develop maybe something in a reasonable quantity and donate it as one of our CSR to the community to help contain this virus. So this one can also help these young innovators to start their own business, because when we accelerate it and take it to the market by donating this product to government agencies, other people's and business or private organizations will see it and they can patronize them as well. So we are looking at how to accelerate this. That's why we are coming up with ideas on the startup schemes as well to help our youth come up with ideas, and we help them accelerate. Before COVID, we were building innovation and incubation hubs around the country. We were building IT hubs. So we are going to continue after the COVID. We will use those centers as an experimental or lab for our startups to go and test their own ideas. And also it can be used as a meeting point between startups and investors, as well as academia, to help them accelerate their product into the market. Thank you.
Can you hear me, sir? Honorable DG, thank you so much. I have a few questions and comments from our people that I'd like to read to your attention. First is Abdurrafil Abdul Quadri, I believe it says, can you provide link to all the opportunities you talk about? I think it's talking about, is there a website they can go to benefit and take advantage and get more information about all of these ideas? Let me see another one. Techno Power, please always use your name so that we can identify you if you want us to read your comment or question. It says, this initiative is awesome. Advice, Ekpa Daniel says, please, we need link to all the opportunities you talked about. Agogo Yola David says, we are challenging all talented youth to come up with tools that will solve our health and economic crisis. Someone says, please, we ask question, how can we ask? Please send me your question. Toby Amosu says, Tomi Amosu, we need to look inward and take advantage of this pandemic and channel new innovations for Nigeria to match up with top leading developing countries. Ambassador Amosu K. Toby, Vice President, National Youth Council Southwest. ITEL says this is a laudable initiative. Continuation should be encouraged to further assist the impact of the economy. I think he was talking about the ideas you were sharing. Afiz Adeyemo has a question for you. He says, kindly help me ask the DG, Dr. Inowa, the idea of the digital economy is fantastic and will drive Nigeria to the next level. But every digital drive needs to be secured. And that's why NITDA has introduced the framework like NDPR. But the challenge is, how will this framework be enforced? And how do interested youth in this aspect get involved? Did you get that question, sir?
Yes. Firstly, on the opportunities, I just shared our link to the academy.nitda.gov.ng for the training opportunity. And for the innovation challenge, that has been closed because it was open for a while, which people applied for. And we have done the open demo day pitching and so on. So that has been closed. Now we are working with the winners only to incubate their own ideas. However, we have innovation portal.nitda.gov.ng also, which you can go there and register if you have a startup or you have an IT hubs, you can register. And also you can follow us at NITDA Nigeria in our Twitter and Facebook handle. We always share opportunities for like our startups clinic and other things. You can see them. They are seasonal events. So when we are preparing for it, we open it for registration, and when we are done, we close it. So like under the lockdown, we successfully implemented 2 startup clinics, and we are working on doing more, but no date yet. So whenever we are going to have any of this kind of thing, we put it on our social media handles and our website. Then on the cybersecurity, yes, I totally agree with you. And we are working with different stakeholders on different initiatives on how to address the cyber challenge. One thing about cybersecurity is awareness, because most of cyber attack you will see was done either through social engineering or using an insider in the organization. So we encourage MDAs and other organizations to implement ISO 27001 standard on information security, which we have successfully implemented and certified at NITDA, and we are encouraging other MDAs to do the same thing. And also, we are working on the national cybersecurity strategy. Very soon, we will throw it open to the public for input. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have another question. Director, sir, as regards to the infrastructure for Nigeria to achieve the digital economy, what is the agency to see production of some of this infrastructure locally? Let me put 2 or 3 of the questions together. Is that okay, sir? So that maybe you can answer them together. So yes. Infrastructure, how are you encouraging local production of infrastructure? That was from Wale. And Gogo Yola David says, this ideas and execution seems centralized. a lot of them are not visible to the grassroots. What is the agency doing towards internalizing this initiative to the grassroots? In also engaging state government and local government for the implementation of this program. I think the third one I would take, I have like a lot of questions for you, sir, but I'll take them in small batches before I let you go. Kehinde Egyptian says, there are physically challenged youth all around us. I want the DG to highlight available provision for these people. How are you encouraging digital innovation for the physically challenged? And finally, I also have a cyber security awareness drive aimed at youth and would like to collaborate with various people. Okay, that's a feature you already mentioned. Someone said, we youth in the Northeast, that's Abdurrahman Mohammed, how can we benefit? I think let me take that before you lose track of the question.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let me start by maybe I even lost some of the question, but let me start with the last one you asked about how do we take it to the grassroots. We've been working with state governments, like just before the lockdown, we did a program in Ekiti. We call it capacity building for women in ICT, where we engaged people from the Southwest, and we also did one in Nasarawa State where we engaged people from the North Central, before we did in the Northeast and Northwest as well. And also we do a lot of training for artisan, because the idea is one of our mandate is developing the sector. And when you talk about developing, the end is not just the technology, but the economic power, using the technology to create economic value for our citizens. So we also engage artisan on how to do some like repairing of mobile phone, laptops, how to develop a simple website and so on. Like one we did in Niger, I learned there are women that now they are repairing mobile phones from their houses. So if you look at it, almost every house has a mobile phone. So a woman sitting at home can't, if she's empowered, she can help her fellow women to fix their mobile phones if they have problem with it. And also on the, I think the other one was on the cybersecurity, which I've already addressed initially. So maybe can you remind me some of the question, please? It's like
Okay, let me remind quickly, DG. We in the Northeast, how can we benefit? Then what provision is there to help provide funding for these ideas and startup? Then somebody talked about disability.
Okay, it's for everyone in Nigeria, whether from the Northeast, Southeast, South, wherever you are, you can connect us through our social media handles and website. You can apply and benefit. And we also rotate our programs around the country. Like just before the lockdown, we had a program in Port Harcourt. We did one in Ekiti, we did in Nasarawa. So we were about to go to Kebbi. That's when the crisis started, which we have to convert it to a virtual program. For people living with disability also, we have a specialized training capacity building for them, where we provide specialized ICT equipment for them. We've planned to have one in the Northwest just before the crisis hit. So immediately after the crisis, we will conduct it. We couldn't convert it to a virtual because some of them, like when you talk of people with disability, Even the equipment for
Yeah.
them, like blind people, they have a special keyboard they need to use, and they have a special needs. So it will be difficult for us to do it virtually. That's why we have to suspend it till after the pandemic, or when we can meet. Then lastly, you talked about how to get funding. We have a different scheme for funding, which I talked about, the technology innovation scheme. That one is going to be open. So if you have a startup, that one is targeted for startups. If you have a startup, you can apply. When you go through the selection process, we are working on the criteria. Then if you are successful, we will attach you with ICT hub around the countries where you can go through training. Then at the end, it's not just to give you a fund, but we will handhold you to make sure you utilize the fund judicially and also get value out of it. What I mean by getting value out of it, we'll make sure your idea is incubated and you are ready to go to market before we allow you to continue with your business. Then the second part of it is we normally do Startup Friday, Startup Clinic, and so on, which they are also open for application. So you need to be checking on our social media handles, and also you can follow OIIE. It's a subsidiary organization under NITDA, which coordinates most of our innovation and entrepreneurship activities. So mostly we organize the Startup Friday through them, whereby you can go, you can apply, you will benefit from our training and mentoring. Then also you can win prizes. Part of the prizes we use to check successful startup and expose them to international events like GITEX in Dubai, like Silicon Valley, where you can meet and network with other people. Like last year, one of our startups we took to GITEX in Dubai won a prize as the best artificial intelligence startup in the world. So you can have all this opportunity. We make sure we do it is very competitive and open. To get it, always follow our social media handles and check on our website as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, BG. I have one last set of questions that I want to pass on to you, if you may. And this is coming from, please bear with me. This is coming from Afiz Adeyemo. He says, please help me tell him I will want that messaged him about cybersecurity awareness on LinkedIn. Is Nigerian making plan to launch its coin? Is Nigeria going to launch a Bitcoin or something soon? That's from Olai Toanyileka. Clifford says, hi, please, I have Ali Mohammed. Hi, please, can I have a question for DG once it finishes? Are there plans to open NITDA office in each of the geopolitical zones for ease of access? Ali Mohammed from Birmingham. That are you planning to open in geopolitical zones? This is going to be the final question. So I hope that the DG, I hope you have a pen so that I can read everything out. NITDA has the capacity building training on people with disabilities. I follow their social media handle. Please, they should encourage Nigerian youth with small funds to start business. I'm reading, there's a lot of comments. Can you tell us how you're working to see that in our electoral process, to see that we use electronic voting in Nigeria? I think it's talking about technology and voting. How can we in our Greek sector benefit? That's another question. in order to assist in getting youth, I think NITDA should work with the National Youth Council of Nigeria with chapters in many states. Sorry, so I'm trying to find relevant questions. Okay, thank you. I think those are enough. Oh, there's one about trade zone. Let me read it.
Okay.
DG, we will appreciate you come to establish one of your incubation center in Ekpe Division, Ekpe Ibejuleki Eredo Ikoseji in Lagos. This is essential services because the area is where we currently have the Lekki Free Trade Zone, the next economic hub of Lagos and West Africa. You agree with me that soon as activities will be heavily driven by advanced tech and ICT in this area. Hence, it will be strategic. Sorry, the questions are, I'm trying to find the rest of this. To have one of your incubation center to train and prepare the youth of the host community, Ekpe Division, to enable them to fit properly into the future ahead. I think I will stop on that for now.
So thank you very much. I will touch on them maybe superficially. On the Bitcoin, we don't want to be maybe specific saying Bitcoin. We look at the technology, not the product, because blockchain is the technology powering the Bitcoin. So what we are doing, we are working on coming up with a framework on how to use blockchain technology in Nigeria for maybe government services like election you talked about, like land registry, like schools results. Because these are things that normally we need to verify. Like most of organizations, they engage consultants to verify staff certificates. So if you have a blockchain based, you can easily do it online. So we are working on that. Like last year, we organized a workshop with the Nigerian, I think, FinTech and Bitcoin. I can't remember the exact name, but we had a workshop with them, and we are working on the framework, which I'm sure it will come out soon. Then on NITDA establishing zonal offices, yes, we are working on that. We already have office in the Southwest, we have in the South-South, we have in the Northeast. So we are working on having one in the Northwest and Southeast. North Central, I don't think there is need for that since we have our headquarters in North Central. Then on encouraging youths, I think we do a lot. Most of our program targeted youths, startups. How can you come up with innovative ideas? How can we drive emerging technologies? How can we drive ICT in general? And when you talk about ICT, basically you are talking about youth because you are the digitally native. Most of our senior ones, they are digital migrants. They find it difficult to use the digital platform. So promoting digital platform in general is like encouraging youth to use it because that's the future and also is going to be the future work. Then on the electronic process, yes, we are helping all MDAs. We have written to INEC to even help them on what they are trying to do with technology. NITDA is the ICT clearance house for all government investment in ICT. So we have our role, but we are not going deeper into the election itself, which is beyond our jurisdiction. Then on agri sector, I talked about the Nigerian adopted village for smart agriculture. Yes, agri is the major contributor to our GDP. ICT is enabler, you use it everywhere. So we are working on creating a digital platform for the agri ecosystem that can provide a platform for the people in that value chain to exchange ideas, to collaborate, to share information, and also help provide access to services such as finance. We are working with a lot of stakeholders on this, and we have started a pilot project. Very soon you will start seeing value from it. The idea is we are going to provide end-to-end digital ecosystem from the farm to the market. The farms, we can have a geodata of the farm. You can maybe zoom the farm, see the kind of crops they have or the product, buy it, connect it with a logistic company that will transport it to you. For example, I can buy tomatoes from Kano, transport it to Abuja without being in Kano. The platform will provide all this connection between the farmer, the logistic companies, the markets, buyers, and so on. And also it can provide connection to financial services. Like you have a farm, you want to get a loan, or this is easier for the financial services to verify what you have in your farm. You can use the geodata information to see what you have, and also it can be used as a collateral and so on. Then on the working with the National Youth Council, I think we are open with working with any stakeholder. We collaborate with many stakeholders, and like I said, one of our competitive advantage or strategic capability in NITDA is collaboration. We are leveraging on 3 strategic capabilities: creativity, adaptability, and collaboration to navigate within this crisis. So collaboration is a key to us. On establishing Innovation Hub in Lagos, we are already building one, or we have built at the Lagos, at the University of Lagos. The idea is we are creating an ecosystem which we have identified 5 key stakeholders. The universities, because they are the one producing the human capital. We have the innovators, can be a student or can be a young graduate or can be any other person. Then we have the risk capital. The risk capital, they are the investors. We have the government. Government basically provide an enabling environment. Government have no business in business rather than to provide the enabling environment for the business people to thrive and survive. Then we have the risk capital, university, corporate. Okay, we have the corporate organization, because corporate organizations are the one that knows the kind of skills they want. So if you don't have these 5 stakeholders on board, it will be difficult for you to achieve or to succeed in a digital world whereby we are talking about digital economy, or we are talking about innovation-driven enterprises. Means you need to think of what can work in the market. For you to think of that, you need the corporate organization to tell you what kind of product and services they are looking for. The universities need to produce people that can easily plug into the industry without maybe other extra training. For them to understand that, they need to understand the industry, because one of the challenges we are having in this part of the world, Africa, is most of our universities, we learn theory in our universities. When you come to the industry, you have to unlearn what you learned in the university, that the theory, and learn new set of skills, what works in the industry. So you need to find a way of converting your knowledge into a skills for you to survive. But when you put them together, the university can easily understand. Like we are working with the Nile University here in Abuja to achieve all this by creating this ecosystem. They have already started, we are sponsoring some courses for them on emerging technologies that they teach students. And also we are providing innovation lab here in Abuja, whereby the student can come and maybe use it to experiment what they learn from the university, and also connect with people from the industry to understand what works in the industry, which is different from the theoretical aspect of it. So that was the idea. We are doing the one in Lagos inside university, but that doesn't mean we cannot do it, but we are trying to go around the 6 geopolitical zones before we can start adding more to each zone. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you so much, DG. At this juncture, I want to say a big thank you for your time and for your commitment and for the energy at which you've been able to present to us and answer all our questions. We would not want to delay you any further because we know that you have a lot of other invitation and other activity. We want to say a big thank you. Everyone, can you please go to your message and send a thank you, DG, to everyone. So if you go to your message and say, thank you, DG, and you send to everyone, I'm sure that the DG can say it. Please, so yeah, you have 10 seconds. Everyone go to your message and say, thank you, DG. I'm seeing them, they're coming in. I hope, DG, I hope that you're getting all the messages coming from all over the country.
Thank you,
DG. Thank you, DG. I'm seeing them in their hundreds. They're all coming in. So let me unmute everyone so that we can hear you say. Everyone, say thank you, DG.
It's a great day, DG.
God bless you. God bless DG. Success story.
Thank you so much for the time. Thank you for insights.
Thank you for your hard work.
At this junction, we've got further to the next section of the event. We wish you good luck and a great tenure by the grace of the Almighty. Thank you so much, Director General. God bless you real good.